My name is Teresa Tern. I'm a software engineer at Compose, and today I'm going to talk to you about the best onboarding gift I received as a junior software engineer. I created this talk with an entry-level position in mind, but I believe there are some takeaways that will be useful for onboarding engineers at all levels. So the best onboarding gift I ever received was not any corporate branded swag. It was not even free food. It was a dedicated backlog full of stories that my team planned and prepared for me on day one. And that's really useful because I believe in a lot of new positions, for a lot of new employees, there's usually a gap between when they finish completing all the mandatory HR paperwork and all the mandatory meetings and when they actually feel productive. And by having this dedicated backlog ready for me or a new engineer, they can be productive and contributing on day one. And looking at the stories at a high level, I believe they share several characteristics. The first one being that they address real business needs, meaning that the results that they have is going to have an immediate impact on the end user. And that's just a really good feeling to have, and it starts building the relationship between the new employee and the company on trust, and that just feels great. And then the stories span across the stack and the technologies, and that's important because it informs the team and the manager what strengths and weaknesses the employee might have. And for the employee, they'll better understand what their preferences are, where they like to work in the stack, and what technologies and languages they most like to work with. The third characteristic they seem to share is that they're isolated. They're not blockers. It allows the new engineer to kind of develop learnings at their own pace and really internalize them instead of feeling rushed and just working for performance or results. The last one is that they're very well documented. An example of this is that if it's a front-end UI change, it came with mocks. And if there's any questions that the new engineer might have on the story, they can look to the story to see who they should ask for the answers. And so looking at the stories, I believe they fall into three general categories. The first category being quick win morale boosters. The specific example that I had at Compose was just changing a multi-select field into a table of checkboxes on a heavily used internal tool, so that when I was done, my teammates, the ones around me, immediately noticed and gave me feedback, and that was really good for the morale and confidence. It wasn't a very technical story. I believe that's not the point. I believe the goal of these stories is to boost confidence and also just to familiarize the new employee with the workflow and tool set of the teams, meaning how to use Git, how to interpret results from continuous integration tools, and also how to give and receive good PR reviews. The next category is product feature tours. So the product I work on at Compose is this giant, large monolithic app that's full of really dark, scary corners. And so the stories here kind of serve as a tour guide into introducing what those features are, and helping the engineer better understand the value that the product is supposed to deliver, and also helping them empathize with the end users. Stories that kind of fall into this category are often tests, because with tests, you start with the stated outcome, the expected behavior, and then you work backwards from there. And then the last category I kind of had in mind was just giant refactor projects. At Compose, really emphasize code quality. And so what we did, the stories in this category often took what was the lowest rated files using tools such as Code Climate and just refactoring, applying solid principles and rules defined by experts such as Sandy Metz, and just making them more maintainable and better, more understandable for other people to work on it. And it really just emphasizes the point that you shouldn't just build things that work. You should build things that are of high quality. So to conclude, the best present ever received, and I believe that all day one engineers should receive, is just a dedicated backlog of stories, because it helps them become productive more quickly. It helps them develop good habits as an engineer and as a teammate, and it helps them gain confidence. So yeah, I'll be around for questions afterwards.